वो भी इतना पास है, यूर ऑल्सो सेइंग सो पास, वो ऑफ नहीं बैठेगा। आई के
मास्टर ऑफ कर दो।
बाकी नॉर्मल गा लो, ट्रस्ट मी।
हेलो 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 पेज डाउन हो गया ना।
Hello, hello, check, hello, check, hello, 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 check, hello, ठीक, hello, 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 check, hello, hello,
हेलो वो वहाँ से ऑन कर दो।
hello.
मैं नहीं हो रहा।
जाओ जाओ
इधर बैठो। ये तो देख के पहले मैं तेरी
नहीं नहीं कुछ मत छेड़ो उसको मैंने बैटरी ऑफ करी थी हाँ हाँ मैंने क्या कैमरा ऑफ करा था नहीं वो बैटरी एक्चुअली में पहले तो मैंने टेंशन ना लो ऑडियो आ रही है उधर से ही
काम करो फोन नंबर
कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी आप निश्चिंत हो जाओ
Two projects were sanctioned for a total amount of about rupees 7 crores. Our PhD students received many prestigious fellowships, including 2 PM's fellowship. Our student-run clubs continue doing very well, and they win medals in many external events, including sporting events. As per our Act, IIIT Delhi has to be financially self-sustaining. For this, it is essential for the Institute to build an endowment. 2 years ago, we got a significant breakthrough in the form of 24 crore grant from Infosys for setting up the Center for AI. This year also, we have made tremendous achievements. The key ones are TCS is sponsoring the Center for Design and New Media, which they inaugurated just a few days ago with a grant of 28 crore rupees over 7 years. Padam Shri Mohandas Pai has established a fellowship to provide travel support, a travel grant to PhD students. Mr. Shivulal's foundation is providing support for overseas research fellowship for 60 PhD students. And the first chair has also been established in IIIT Delhi, the Shri Gyan Jalote chair. It has been my privilege to establish this with support of my family and my brother, who's also thankfully here today, and his family, to establish this in the name of our parents, Shri Ram Jalote and Gyanvati Jalote. So I'm very happy. Both of them are no more, but I'm happy that we've been able to do something in their name and that my brother and his family has also been able to attend. With support like these, the matching grant scheme of Government of Delhi, we will soon be self-supporting, though we had 15 years to do that. As can be seen, phase 2 of the campus construction is almost complete. This building is part of the phase 2. Honorable Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister both had come to inaugurate the campus just a few days back. Many of you would have attended that. With this infrastructure, the institute can support about 3,000 students, 150 faculty. We work at this 20-to-1 ratio, and about 100 officers. All the achievements have led to the institute be ranked in BRICS top 200 universities by QS, in which they evaluated 9,000 BRICS universities, putting IIIT Delhi in the top 2%. There are only 2 other universities from Delhi in the top 200. Before I conclude the brief report, I'm very proud to note that the institute will be completing 10 years. I would therefore like to take the opportunity to sincerely thank my faculty and administration colleagues whose effort and support has made this all happen. In particular, I would like to acknowledge the support of faculty who took a leap of faith very early and joined the institute, rallying behind the vision they have. So I would like to read out their names. Most of them were in our transit campus in Dwarka. So all of them professors, Dr. Mayank Vats, Richa Singh, I think both of them are there, Vikram Goyal, PK, Dr. Pannurangam, Pushpendra Singh, Amarjit Singh, Vinayak Nayak, Debjyoti Bera, Sanjit Kaul, Mohammad Hashmi, Sri Ram K, Donghun Chang, and Sujay Dev. All of them joined before 2012 and are with us. So thank you very much, my dear colleagues, for supporting us. I should also like to point out, so I would like to express my sincere thanks to our chairman, Mr. Kiran Karnik, who's also been with us for 10 years and guiding us. And I can tell you the kind of support I draw from him is just tremendous. And to my family, my wife is here. I hope my daughters are listening to it through our live webcast, for their support, which enabled me to focus on institution building. I should like to point out that this is my last convocation as director. The institute is entering a new phase, And I'm happy to report that a distinguished academician, Professor Ranjan Bose, who's also here from IIT Delhi, will be taking over as director to take IIIT Delhi to greater heights. A very smooth transition, which is not very common in India. In a sense, therefore, I'm also graduating from IIIT Delhi this year. But for me, this is an emotionally and professionally a difficult graduation, perhaps unlike for you. Having nurtured a baby institute from its creation to a reasonably mature state that it is, and having focused so exclusively on the institute for the last 10 years, I have to now redefine my goals to fill the void that is necessarily going to be created. I've written many books earlier, 5 books, so I'm hoping to try to get back to writing, but even this is going to be something that I'll have to relearn and redevelop because, to be honest, last 10 years I haven't done much of it. But as of now, just to share with you, my plans are to remain at IIIT Delhi as distinguished professor and will be shifting to a faculty apartment within the next few weeks. I plan to be on sabbatical next year for thinking, reading, writing, and defining projects for myself. With this, I would like to end the report, formal report, and like to congratulate the graduating batch and their families and wish them all the best. Thank you very much. So, dear graduates, it's now my pleasure to speak to you. This was a report, official report, which gets tabled in the parliament and everything. It is part of our annual report. Now it's a pleasure to speak to you for a few minutes. I usually share some ideas which may be useful for your life. One hopes that they are useful. As this is my last convocation speech as director, I thought I will talk about the decade-long IIIT Delhi journey and some life lessons from it. I've always believed that organizations and individuals are valued by society and people based on the value they deliver. At IIIT Delhi, we maintain a sharp focus on delivering value in whatever we do. In courses, we ensure that there is good conceptual learning as well as actual engineering capability and requisite effort. Many of you have complained about the effort, but we make sure that it is honest. In research, we focus on impact and publishing in high-quality venues. In our infrastructure management, we make sure that things like STP, which often don't work, are actually working all the time. It's an easier path to just work without focusing on outcomes, or just managing the perception by talking loudly about whatever one has done, and actually even times what one has not done. But in the long run, the focus on value delivery will always pay, is my firm conviction. For IIIT Delhi, this focus has already shown good results. Our graduates get good opportunities in jobs as well as higher studies. Our faculty is highly respected, and we now even have made to the BRICS ranking. So the first life lesson from our journey is that you must always deliver value to the organization that you work for, which may be your own startup. Never lose sight of this, and more importantly, never rely on shortcuts for managing the perception of value. There's no doubt that at IIIT Delhi, we have achieved a lot in 10 years, right? From one floor in the library building in Dwarka to a full campus, which Honorable CM said is the best, one of the best he has seen in all the campuses he's visited. From an intake of 60 to over 600 this year, 400 plus in BTech and 200 plus in MTech. From one program to 6 programs of BTech, 8 specializations in MTech. From one faculty to over 75, including visiting that we have. A strong PhD program with over 160 PhD scholars, in fact, bigger in computer science than many of the established IITs. So when I look at IIIT-Delhi today and what we have, it's actually quite remarkable. If you ask me whether this is what I had imagined, absolutely not. In all honesty, if I was asked that this is what we have to build and do in 10 years, it's not clear that I would have taken up the challenge. I suppose the same is true of my colleagues, the ones that I mentioned who joined early. A leap of faith, and we had a vision of creating an institution that is globally respected for research as well as education, which we articulated right in the start, and we continue focusing on it, and had plans, no doubt about it. But the actual achievement was done through steady contribution year after year towards the vision. So the second life lesson is that you keep chipping away, keep contributing, keep growing, and over the years you can achieve a lot. In fact, you can achieve a lot more than what you can imagine today, as our journey has shown. But to do this, you have to put in the requisite effort, and you also need support from colleagues and family. There is no gain or achievement without effort. Yes, luck matters, but the main determinant which is in your control for the outcomes that you will generate is your effort. You have to put in solid effort on an ongoing basis to achieve success, and you have to seek support from your colleagues by leading by example. For the first many years, I routinely worked at night from home and over the weekends. It's only now that I've started reducing my effort to allow me some time for my evenings after the current evening as founding director gets over. And I know many of my colleagues spend 10 to 15-hour days, often particularly when they have deadlines. Our team involved in campus construction regularly puts in multiple long hours over weeks. And clearly this is not possible without strong support from family. In my case, it was clear that my mind share for family matters had reduced considerably. Once, when I pointed out, over a bit of argument, to my wife that I'm usually at home at night, my wife rightfully observed that while you are physically here, your mind is at IIIT-Delhi. The third lesson, therefore, is that effort matters hugely. Do not rely on luck, rely on your effort. Hopefully, luck will also come, as the famous quote by Jefferson says, the harder I work, the more luck I have. And seek support from your family and colleagues. In 2008, perhaps a dozen new institutions were started by the governments across the country. At IIIT-Delhi, I believe we perhaps have innovated the most. Let me give a few examples. In admission, while we adopted the common exam JEE when it was one country, one exam cry came, but we innovated by recognizing achievements beyond a single exam by having a framework of bonus marks. This has worked very well, actually. In our course design and teaching, we've added post-conditions expected outcomes to make education learning focused rather than teaching focused. For faculty, we have a system of yearly feedback, tenure, etc., to help them achieve their potential, which is one of the things we recognize doesn't happen much in our country. We are perhaps the first government institution to actually hold full faculty selections overseas. And our campus management uses very contemporary techniques like FMS, BMS, etc. The point is that we are also within the same overall environment as other institutions. But we have innovated in many aspects. And let me assure you, innovation is badly needed in higher education in our country. So the fourth lesson is that regardless of what your job is or your environment, there is always scope for innovation, and we must innovate. In this fast-changing world, those who will not innovate will not survive long, and individuals who will drive innovation will be valued more and more. Cynicism, let's come to something more personal at an individual level. Cynicism and negativity are easy. It's very easy to find faults and problems and blame others or the system for for the current situation. And our evolution has ensured that our minds are actually tuned to receive and believe bad news more, bad news and views. All of you must have faced all kinds of negativity being promoted by people about the country, about the government, about the world, institutions, you name it. At various stages, we also had people who would point out a very negative future. And I recall in many cases it bothered me for days, trying to solve problems that perhaps existed in the negative person's mind. I've learned that to counter the attraction towards negativity, we have to rely more on your own independent analysis. If you read the book Factfulness, you will see how we are biased towards negativity and how we can use facts and data to counter this tendency and see the positivity that does exist. For your own personal happiness also, positivity is the most important habit you can develop. There is strong research to support that if you care to read it. So the fifth lesson is, for your happiness and success, cultivate positivity. Challenge negativity by checking facts and doing your own analysis. You're all smart, well-educated, and associate with positive people. Let me now suggest perhaps a philosophy of living which may not be relevant in the immediate future for you, but is indeed an important life lesson. Our journey has not been smooth, as no journey is. There have been periods of stress and distress. There are continuous challenges in trying to build consensus, resolve conflicts, handle special cases, etc. In such situations, there's sometimes a desire to quit or reach a conclusion it's not worth it. In these times, I reminded myself that whatever we are doing here is not for me or a few individuals. We are creating a fine institution for our country that will help young faculty and young students make great careers. This purpose helped me in weathering such periods and also helped me in pleading our case to various authorities for permission of construction. I would go to all places and plead our case, please give permission. And it has helped. We have been able to build in Delhi. Perhaps Delhi is known to be very, very slow for construction, but we've been able to do 2 phases in a short life. So the life lesson here is that if you have a higher purpose for what you're doing, it can help you in motivating yourself as well as in facing adversities, which will necessarily come in the way of any worthwhile purpose. Finally, let me end with a thought with which I almost always end my convocation speech. Whichever way we look, we are a privileged section of the society. There is no doubt about it. We are in the top 1 or 2% of the country with respect to our earning potential, education, etc. I believe it is therefore incumbent upon us to give back to society and to those who are less fortunate than us. It also, by the way, enhances personal happiness and satisfaction. Again, many cognitive and psychology experiments have shown that giving has a strong positive influence on happiness. I've met some alum who now recall their community work experience, which you know is necessary for graduation, with pride and point out the subtle but deep impact it made. And the volunteers in our summer camp that we hold for government school children have uniformly expressed that they've gotten much more than they gave and that it was a lifetime experience. Some of them have said this was one of the best experiences they had in IIIT-Delhi. Life is undoubtedly richer and more satisfying if we engage in the act of giving back to society and helping others. And in giving, while in India there isn't much of a tradition, across the world there is, we must consider our alma mater also, which has laid the foundation of your wonderful career ahead. I've been saying that all alums should start giving 1 day a salary a year to their alma mater whenever they start working, earning something which is like a dinner out with family, and gradually increase it to 1% of the yearly income. I myself have followed this to my alma maters, IIT Kanpur, and the place I worked, IIT Delhi, as well. I hope you will all strive to achieve this. Dear graduates, to end, you have an exciting life ahead of you. You can achieve and contribute a lot by working hard, leading your life with positivity, innovating, and keeping a focus on generating value and having a higher purpose, and seeking support from your colleagues and family. In your exciting journey, please do not forget to give back to society and to your alma mater. I wish you all the best in your career and life ahead. Thank you very much. I would now like to invite Honorable Chancellor, who has kindly agreed to spare time today and speak to you, as well as personally give the Chancellor's Gold Medal. Mr. Chancellor, sir.
Chief guest of the function, Mr. Rajan Anandan, Chairman of the Institute, Mr. Kiran Karnik, Director, Dr. Jalote, distinguished members of the faculty, proud students and proud parents here, present here, and ladies and gentlemen. Please accept my greetings and best wishes on the 7th Convocation Day of this institute. Thank you for inviting me on this happy occasion to address the young men and women of this esteemed institution. First of all, my congratulations to all the graduating students and their parents for having successfully come out of this institute and now looking for something in life. I'm delighted to know that this institute has been ranked within the top 200 BRICS universities in the recent QS rankings, in which nearly 9,000 universities were evaluated. BRICS universities were evaluated. It is indeed extremely creditable that you all have been able to achieve this landmark even before completing 10 years of your existence. This deserves kudos for your management team, the entire teaching staff, and most importantly, you bright youngsters. I do believe that the Institute would not only continue to shine brighter, but also awaken the immense youth of yours, power of yours, improve existing systems without breaking them down, and most importantly, evolve in the midst of growing challenges around you. Today happens to be your happiest day in life. I know you're graduating from here, but fortunately or unfortunately, today also happens to be a day when you're going to get a lot of advice from everybody. Because today you are a captive client here, and we belong to the different generation, so we would like to tell you what we feel about life and what we have felt and what you must learn from us. So I have a couple of thoughts to share with you today. The first advice I would like to give you, young friends, to spend your time working on whatever you are passionate about in life. If your subject matter of study was focused upon one particular area, don't let that stop you from moving in another direction. There's a huge marketplace full of opportunities waiting for you. You just have to grab one that interests you. Every job, every profession, my friends, has its own challenges, risks, and rewards. This I say based on my experience of multifarious jobs that I was fortunate to have handled in my career as an IAS officer, ranging from revenue administration to taxation, aviation and media policy formulation, to managing an airline or electronic media, or for that matter, even hardcore regulatory jobs. They all had their own challenges, they had their own satisfaction. So I think every job is worth doing, provided your heart is in it. You may even decide to take a break and consider your options. I know I'm talking something which would be blasphemous for a sector like yours, which gets obsolete yesterday and not tomorrow, to ask you to take a break, but I would still urge that you may like to travel, gain new experiences, draw upon those when it comes to making decisions that will shape your future. The amount of business ideas that people pick up from traveling the world is enormous. Equally, if you spot an opportunity early on, are really excited about it, throw yourself into it with everything you have got. Be ambitious. There probably won't be another time in your life when you have such a freedom of opportunity. Grasp it with both hands. Education doesn't take place in stuffy classrooms and institute buildings alone. It can happen everywhere, every day, to every person. One of my extremely seasoned ministers told me in the formative years of my life that knowledge comes not just from the academic institutions, but equally, if not more, from the classroom of life. Classroom of life also teaches a lot of things. So your generation is indeed accomplished and truly blessed, thanks to the earth-shaking advancement in technology. We are now communicating like never before, across borders and time zones, on platforms, devices, computers, tablets, phones, apps, games, you name it. Communicating 24/7, wired and wirelessly, talking, texting, tweeting, trending, friending, what have you. Everything you can do now. You have a lot that you can. Today I can see that you are also raring to go into the real world to get a job and transform the world. I do realize that. I can also empathize with that because when I close my eyes, it feels like just the other day that I sat where you are and I remember exactly how I felt. I tell you all this because I know right now everybody is asking you the same question. What are you going to do after your degree? Do you have a job? Where will you be working? How much are they paying? Where are you going? And here you are sitting there ready to hit the fast forward button and find out the answers. But today, I would like to urge you that before you go out and press that fast forward button, have some patience and courage to first press the pause button. Pause allows you to think and introspect. I know everybody else is rushing around like a lunatic out there, but I am advising you to do exactly the opposite. For our generation, they were parents to push the pause button if it became necessary. In my own life, for instance, after graduation, I was selected as a management trainee in a reasonably good company of our time based out of what used to be Calcutta. When I went to my parents to seek their blessings, I was reprimanded and advised to prepare for the civil services exams. And this was the pause button for me, which changed the entire course of my life. So friends, think about using that if you feel like it. And mind you, what I'm telling you is nothing new. Jesus fasted for 40 days and nights in desert. Buddha, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, the greatest and the wisest had often stopped and withdrawn from active lives to journey within themselves. The wisdom they garnered there and shared with us has impacted the world. So what I'm saying is, remember to pause and reflect before you sign on with someone or some organization whose work you don't admire and respect. Who you work for is as important as what you do. One of the issues of modern times that I do not fail to point out in such gatherings is the growing distance in the relationship between the youth and the elderly. They both tend to see each other in some sort of a negative light. Elderly seem to have more critical have critical attitude towards the young, and youth tend to just ignore the older generation. Maybe it's just a perception. This could possibly be as a result of digital divide as well. In the past, ICT technologies were generally targeted to enterprise and corporations. Over the last decade or so, the big market for technology has moved to consumers and individuals, largely through the mobile phones, internet data, and laptops. This has not only changed the focus of technology development, but also how the common people are using it, and it is impacting the society. Till recently, most technologies in our homes were for family use. For example, television, landline phone, refrigerator, cooler, motor car, and other items of daily use by the family as a whole. The cell phone has changed the family dynamics completely. Even in India, this device is practically as personal as a toothbrush. This has substantially changed the family relationship with regard to privacy as well as parent-child connectivity. A typical scene in a family now would look like grandfather and grandmother, parents and two children are actually sitting in a drawing room. Grandfather is reading the newspaper. Father is watching the television news. Mother is watching her favorite show of hers on her iPad. One child is playing a game on the mobile, while the other one is busy in instant messaging with her friends. The family is together, but each one is busy and each one is alone. So, even the TV shows are now watched separately on personal devices through content streaming. But this hefty void between the two has caused a big generation gap, with both sides having so much to offer. It is important that we use each other as resources to create a culture of perspective, tolerance, and understanding. I firmly believe that technology can be used to support or strengthen family relations or weaken them. It is on the technology designers and people like you as users to facilitate using them for strengthening our family values and systems and not just ape the Western traditions of usage, which are perhaps more aligned with their value systems. In my view, there is a pressing need in India to develop alternative ways of utilizing modern technology for our society. Perhaps we need to train our engineers and technologists more in social sciences and humanities. In that respect, I am happy to note that IIIT-Delhi has taken the lead and started a research center on IT and society to study the relationship between ICT and our society. It has also started a BTech program in IT and social sciences to train next generation of design engineers. That's a good beginning, and it could perhaps in future give you a totality of what life is all about. In this current age, when the information is so readily accessible in books and over the internet, the younger generation assumes that they can learn everything there is to know about life from the web. Yet, some of the finest and most treasured lessons in life do not come from disposable objects, rather from people in your life. Information is helpful, but understanding it is transformative and takes time. While you can learn how to be an entrepreneur, plan a business from books and online research, the elderly are able to explain to you how to pick up yourself if project fails and how to move ahead regardless of drawbacks and shortcomings. Remember, everyone has something to offer and learn despite the difference in age. Every day, people have the opportunity to be a teacher and opportunity to be a student. Having younger friends connects people to where they have been, while elderly friends connect individuals to where they are going. In conclusion, I would once again like to congratulate the outstanding achievers and the Institute and wish you all the very best in your lives and thank the management for providing this opportunity to me to be able to connect with this wonderful gathering. God bless you all. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, sir, I request you to deliver your address and introduce the chief guest.
Honorable Chief Chancellor or Chief Guest Mr. Rajananandan, Director, faculty, officers of the Institute and staff of the Institute, invited guests, and the VIPs for today, the graduating class. Welcome, and first my congratulations to all those who are graduating today, to their families and the guardians who've made this possible for them. Great event for you. It's a great day. It's a milestone in your careers, in your life. And from today, you start a new innings as graduates from what I would say, without too much contradiction anywhere, from amongst the best institutions in the country. So congratulations to all of you. as you all know, this is a landmark for the Institute also. It's 10 years of the Institute. It's 10 years since we started off, as the director just mentioned, in one room in Dwarka, which seemed so distant, so long away, so different from this place that it's difficult to believe that it was but 10 years ago, which in the life of an institution is nothing. I think we have made a lot of leeway since then. We have moved in a big way and moved fast. And I must say that the huge part of that credit goes to the director, Professor Pankaj Jalote. He's built this institution, been instrumental in attracting the best possible faculty from around the world, and something which we are very proud of. I think very few institutions can boast the kind of faculty which we have, the quality, their experience, their background, and their passion and commitment. And I do want to acknowledge just what the director mentioned too, that particularly for those who joined in the very early years, when this was a completely unknown institution, and they came here out of respect and the conviction of the director that this is going to be a great institution, that you have the kind of freedom, the kind of scope, and the kind of place to do research that you want to do, and to do teaching for some of the best students who will come from around the country. And I think the faculty will agree with me that that has come true. Since then, we've attracted more faculty, a lot of excellent faculty, and now it's not just the director, but the other faculty members who have been here some years now, who helped to get in the new faculty, because this place has now established a reputation. So my congratulations to the faculty for doing what they've done over the last 10 years and for producing some of the best graduates that this country has seen. In these 10 years, we have built a lot of infrastructure. The physical infrastructure is there, which all of you can see and is visible. And this building, as other buildings were inaugurated just a few days ago, which is leading to the completion of phase 3, which will enable us to move from phase 1 to phase 3, which is almost a tripling of capacity between the two. From about 1,000, which we had at the end of phase 1, we've moved to 3,000 students. So it's going to be something which is big. But that's only the physical infrastructure. In institutions like this, what is more important is what you might call the soft infrastructure. The faculty, the courses, the atmosphere, the culture, how you teach. What you teach may be similar, but how you teach, how people learn, what are the chances for interacting and learning and innovating and doing things which you always wanted to do but couldn't. And I think that is a task that's ongoing. With the end of phase 2, the physical infrastructure on this campus at least is pretty much complete. But the task of continuing to build the rest of the infrastructure, the intellectual infrastructure, the social infrastructure of the institute is ongoing, and that's a task that will not end, and that's a task where there are big challenges. That is what makes the difference between being where we might have been a few years ago, not very well known, hardly known in fact, to being in the top 200 at least in BRICS. In the next few years, the challenge is not just to get that ranking up and be in other rankings. Rankings are important, and doubtless they're indicative of where we are. But more importantly, to contribute in major ways to the tasks and agenda which we have set for ourselves, which is to do top quality research in cutting edge areas, to produce the best possible students who go out and become great engineers, become great managers, become great researchers, and some of whom may become great faculty in years to come. I think these tasks are ongoing and will continue. Both in their own ways, the director and our Honorable Chancellor have given you some thoughts to think about and advice. And I will, this time round, which I normally do the same to, not give you advice, but just share 2 or 3 thoughts with the graduating students as I see them from the perspective of someone who's been around long and seen the changes that have happened, not just in technology, which has been tremendously exciting, but also in the world at large, the context. And I think just 2 or 3 things which I want to share with you. First, and this is in a way reiterating what the Chancellor said in a slightly different way, I think it's very important to enjoy what you do. All of you have got jobs and decided what you want to do, whether it's taking up a full-time job or becoming a researcher or pursuing further studies. It's critical that you enjoy what you do, because only then will you do well. It's critical that you must be heart and soul into what you do. But more important for me is that you must do what you enjoy. And there I echo what the Chancellor said. What you enjoy doing may not necessarily be what you are going to do in the next year or two in your job or your research. I hope it is, because you made the right choices. But if you find it isn't, my thought to you, not my advice, my thought, because many people will say it's not the best thing to do, is to then rethink. Press the pause button, as the Chancellor put it so well, and see what is it that you will enjoy doing. Because if you do what you enjoy, you will necessarily enjoy what you do, but more importantly, you will be doing something in which you bring passion. And to me, there's a second thought I want to share with you, that passion in what you do is key. If you don't have passion, you might become an efficient engineer, an efficient manager, a good researcher, but you'll never excel. To excel, if you look at people around the world, whether it's leaders, whether it's people who have done great research, whether it's a Nobel Prize winner, they necessarily have passion about what they're doing. And without that passion, things are not going to work. You see this particularly in the case of entrepreneurs, and as every, as I said, Entrepreneurship 101 will tell you that you must have fire in the belly, which is all about passion in being an entrepreneur. And that's true across the board. It's not just for entrepreneurs. Bring passion to what you do, and that will happen only if you do what you enjoy doing. So keep that in mind as you move ahead. The third thought I want to share with you is that, all of us want to make our lives better. Who doesn't? It's very appropriate, it's correct. We come from different kinds of backgrounds. Each one has their own aspirations for themselves and their family. So you certainly want to make your life better, and that's something which you must keep doing. But equally, I would say more important, especially as you go ahead, you will see that is as, if not more satisfying, to not only make your life better, but to keep count of how many other lives you have made better. And that's something you can do irrespective of what you're doing. You might be an entrepreneur, you might be a teacher, you might be a corporate executive, you might be just doing something on your own, writing. How many lives do you make better? To me, that's a very important metric as you go ahead. So certainly make your own lives better, but can you make the lives of others better? Just a thought to leave with you to say, is that something that will give you satisfaction? And I can tell you from my experience that few things can give you greater satisfaction than to do that. Even if you don't make your own life very much better, if you can make the lives of others better, you will sleep at night feeling very satisfied, very happy. And I think happiness is extremely important for us. Final thought to share, and again, I echo what both the director said in terms of where things are going and what the Chancellor said. We have moved towards an age of individualization. Everything from the devices on which you use your information to a lot of the social things today have become individualized. Lots of good things about this individualization. It recognizes that each one of us is different, that each one of us has his or her own thoughts, approaches, way we live, what we do, how we look. And I think it's important for us. It's a much broader concept to saying, how is it that we look at and respect the diversity amongst others in our society and in the world? Extremely important. And that individualization, therefore, is something to be respected and looked at in a positive way. But if we were to stop only at individualization, I think we lose a lot. There is a lot of things for which community, togetherness is important. And this is not, theoretical or do-goodism. As you work in real life, you will see that working in a team is critical. Whether you're doing research or working in a corporate entity, you will find that teamwork has become not less, but more important in today's world. Just as we have moved to individualization, the team has become more important. More and more teams are not just in one discipline, but they're across disciplines. And necessarily in today's world, they're not just across disciplines, they're across nationality, they're across countries. Lots of the barriers, the differences that existed are subsumed in a team. And so while individualization in a different sense is critically important, working together, working in a team is important. And that takes you to the broader concept of looking at community. What is it that you need to do that enables you to be part of a community, which means sensitivity to others, sensitivity to the needs and wants of what others around you do, and some sense of responsibility to say, hey, if I'm part of this community, what is it that I can do to make that community better? And I think these are all parts of what derives from an essential element of saying teamwork for the work you do. And this, therefore, is important too, that sense of community. Just those few thoughts to share with you, nothing very much more. I want to say that we are very proud, on behalf of the board I speak and say that we are very proud of where this institution has reached. Very, very happy with what we've been able to achieve. This is not to sit back on our laurels. There's a lot to be done yet. There's a lot more to achieve. Our ambitions are way above. As I said, that if your grasp is not less than your reach, or if your reach is not more than your grasp, then what's a heaven for? There has to be something to aim for which is much higher. So that's something yet to go. But yet in these 10 years, it's been a great journey. And I want to repeat once again that a great deal of that goes to the director. This is his last convocation. And as I said that as I address the graduating students, I was about to add, and the graduating director, as he himself said, will move from here as director. Very fortunately, he's been kind enough to agree to stay on here for some time. So his advice, his presence, his guidance will be available to the institute, to the students, to other faculty members, and to the new incoming director on an ongoing basis for the next few months. But I do want to acknowledge the tremendous role played by Professor Pankaj Jaloti. Pankaj has been the life of this institute in all ways, and his passion and commitment to the institute has been phenomenal. All of you who are here in this institute know that. I don't have to tell you that. You have seen that, experienced it if you have not seen it. But there are also facets of him which only some of you may know. And that has not to do with his professional work, his work as director, his passion in driving the institute, in making things happen, but also a very different area, and it touches on something I mentioned. And this is his philanthropic activities, his giving. And I think that's phenomenal. Some of you know about it. I don't want to embarrass him by speaking more about it. But I've seen few people who give as much as he does, and give with generosity without any intent or hope for recognition. And I think that's something which is worth looking at, thinking about, and possibly emulating as those of you step out into the real world. So Pankaj, thank you very much for all you have done for this institute for 10 years. And we know you'll continue to be here to help us. And even beyond that, when you're on your sabbatical, I know we can always call on you. As they say, you might leave the IIIT, as all the graduating students are, but IIIT will not leave you. And that's not just for Pankaj, that applies to each one of you who are graduating today. We will not leave you. We will continue to tap you, to draw on you, and to see how you can help us and contribute. And I'm absolutely sure that you'll do that most willingly and happily. You're part of the family now, those of you who are graduating today, and not only are you necessarily and obviously welcome back here, but we hope that as part of the family, you'll continue to look at us as how you can contribute to help us back. And in any ways the Institute can help you, we are here, as you know. We are just, as they say, a phone call away. So right here, come back. So congratulations once again to the graduating students. Congratulations to their parents and to the faculty and staff of the Institute for producing such an excellent batch. Thank you all very much. It's now my pleasure to very briefly introduce our chief guest, Mr. Rajan Anandan, a dear friend for many years, an absolute legend in but a few years in the IT industry in India. Rajan has had a very illustrious career. I won't go into details of it. He's worked in all the big name organizations you can think of. He worked in McKinsey as a partner. He worked in Dell, in Microsoft. He worked with Michael Dell himself very closely so he's experienced what it is to work with somebody like that. Did a brilliant job in Microsoft. In Google, as all of you would know, he heads not only India but Southeast Asia. So about 2 billion people in this region, 500 million plus internet users, growing at the fastest pace in the world. And I do want to mention about Rajan, and I think and hope he might touch on this in his speech. His passion, I mentioned passion yesterday. You know, Google makes quite enough and does quite well for all of us not to worry about it. They do a lot of excellent things otherwise. They do fantastic research. Rajan, though, I must mention, in his own personal capacity, is also an entrepreneurial, angel. He helps, guides, mentors, and funds young startups. I put funds intentionally at the end because it is his guidance and mentorship that's more important. I don't know where he finds the time to do all this, but he does. He continues to let and ensure that Google does very well, but I'm not worried about that. I'm very happy that he spends so much time with the young startups of India, helping and guiding them, putting them on the right path, and that's something which he's done a phenomenal job about and is very widely recognized. In fact, I would say to many people in this country, in the IT industry, and beyond the IT industry, Rajan is as much a startup angel as he is the head of Google in India. His passion, which I was mentioning though, and he, as I said, he might speak about that, is how do you get to the next billion? It's fine that we've got all this huge growth in internet in India, biggest data consumers, already 400 million plus internet users, mostly on the mobile, going to grow by 30-40% in the next couple of years. But what about all those who are left behind? What do you need to do for them? What kind of applications can you get for those in remote rural areas or in agriculture? How do you get those people on board? That has been his passion, and I think that's something which I hope he will share and inspire some of you. Look at that. It's something worth thinking about, something which some of you may want to do. So a pleasure indeed to invite Mr. Rajan as chief guest to come and give the convocation address. Rajan.
Honorable Chancellor, Chairman, Director, distinguished faculty, beloved parents, friends, and family, and most importantly, graduating class of 2018. It's truly an honor to be here. Thank you for inviting me. When the director called me, I guess it was 6 or 8 months ago, and asked whether I could come and be the chief guest, I actually had to think about it a fair bit, and I must tell you this. Because the last time I did this, maybe it was 4 or 5 years ago, I got really bad feedback. Actually, not from the students, from all of my friends. They said, dude, nobody cares about the internet. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, guy, these are my closest friends, by the way. They're all, I think Governor mentioned this, be open to feedback. My friends give me huge amounts of feedback. They said, you went to a non-engineering, non-technical college and talked only about technology. I said, how fun can that be? I said, oh, yeah. So since then, Director, I must tell you, I have declined every invitation to go and speak at these commencement speeches, but because I'm actually horrified that I actually would be incredibly boring. So today I have decided that whether I'm interesting or not is only going to be determined by one thing. There are 2 very young ladies in the front. Actually, one of them already got bored, so she left. See, there's 2 of them. There used to be 2 of them. There's 1 left. I'm going to decide whether I can be interesting, young lady, based on whether I can hold your attention or not. Do you want to stand up and say hello? You want to stand, stand up and say hello to everyone. No, not you, your daughter. Stand up, stand up. Stand up. Stand up and say hello. So that you're looking at, that's class of 2033. She's here very early to make sure that this is something she wants to do. So I started preparing for this about a couple of days ago, and I was thinking about what should I talk about. First I called, by the way, 3 of my closest friends who told me, don't do this again. You're not very good at this. You may be okay at running a tech company, as chairman mentioned, you may be okay at investing in startups, but giving commencement speeches is not something Rajan Anandan should do. So since I'd already accepted, I first thought, a couple of weeks ago, Director, that maybe I should just back out. Then I checked with my office saying, is the date really confirmed? He says, yeah, it's like a graduation, it's confirmed. So I said, okay, maybe I started preparing for this. And so I wrote my first speech. And then I have a daughter who's 12, Maya. So I said, Maya, come sit down. So she said, what are you going to do? I said, well, I'm going to give a talk. She's like, oh. Because she also knows. Everybody in my family knows about, this one talk I gave. So I started sort of telling her what I was going to speak about. She said, stop, Dad. Stop, Dad. Nobody in the world cares about how many internet users there are in India. So I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, Dad, she's 12, by the way. She said, they're graduating. They're on the internet. Do you really think they want to hear about how many internet users there are and how many internet users are going to be added and so on and so forth? So I got to my third draft. And then again, I thought about calling director and saying, this is going to be really tough. This is going to be really tough because, the reality is, it's the only thing I know. And fortunately for me, it's the only thing you know. You have 6 different programs that have computer science before something else. So actually, I went back to my original draft. And that is what I'll talk to you about. Before I start and tell you exactly what I'm going to talk to you about, I want to take a moment to thank the most important people in the room. When I graduated, it was more than 25 years ago, I only had one objective, and that objective was to get a job so I could look after my mom, who had taken care of us after my dad passed when I was very young, and my younger brother, who was about 5 years younger than me. That was the only goal I had. And for many years, that was the only goal I had. And the reason I had that goal was very simple. Because the reason that I was where I was and the reason I'm here as I am is because of the incredible love, the attention, the caring, and most importantly, the sacrifices that our parents, our loved ones, our friends and family make for us. So graduating class of 2018, let's give the most important people in the room, which is not all of you. I know you think you're the most important people. Your parents and your loved ones who are sitting at the back. And I also want us to thank and be incredibly grateful to the faculty. Here's a little secret, Director. I actually didn't go to any classes, so I'm really glad you have a small school still where you can actually measure who's in class. By the way, I hope you're using IoT. Even if you are, don't tell them. Just have sensors and cameras you can figure out. By the way, nobody does that today, right? Attendance, you can actually just monitor attendance. But thank you to the incredible faculty. And also all of you are here because a few folks really had the courage, the determination, the focus to build this incredible institution. He's been thanked many times, but again, I think we should thank and congratulate the director and his incredible team for building this amazing institution. And finally, before I speak, I must tell you, so my undergraduate was a little over 25 years ago. My graduate degree ceremony of this sort was right after that. I don't remember who the chief guest was, let alone what they said. Okay? So here's the thing. You're not going to remember me either, or what I'm going to say. So the one thing you should do today is do something really special. After my undergraduate degree, we had so much fun. I don't remember what happened for about a week after that. Okay? So if you're inclined that way, maybe that's what you'll do. But I do remember that day distinctly. I don't remember anything other than what started after about 6 p.m. And after my graduate degree, The only thing I really remember is a lunch that I had after the ceremony with my closest friends and our families. I remember every single person. I remember what we had for lunch. So I don't know what it's going to be for you. But do something. Do something very, very special, because it's an incredibly special day. And I'm glad none of you are taking notes, because if you did, I'd know you'd be kidding anyway, because you're not going to remember what I'm going to say. That being said, I've got to say something. So here goes. You know, it's an incredibly exciting time in technology. That's great, because you're actually graduating from one of the best institutions in the world with actually a degree in technology. It's also an incredibly exciting and interesting time in India. And you're very, very fortunate to be at the right place at the right time. And I'll talk to you more about this. One of my single biggest lessons in life is be at the right place at the right time. Most people, by the way, they're there when it happens, don't even realize it. That happened to me 25 years ago, and I'll tell you about that. So let's start with this. Why is it the most exciting time in technology? I know all of you are thinking, well, because we're graduating and we're going to do amazing things. Well, yes. Actually, it's a little bit more than that. There are 7.6 billion people in the world. About 4 billion of them are connected. And this is, by the way, when Maya, my 12-year-old, starts disconnecting. It's like, Dad, enough, Papa. Okay, let's move on. Well, here's the thing, right? The 3 billion humans who are not connected to the internet are the ones that need technology the most. They're the ones who need to get connected, because by being connected, they'll get access to all the things that all of us have that they don't have. A great education, access to healthcare, access to opportunities, access to information. 3 billion people are not connected to the internet. And you know what? 1 billion of them are right here in India. Despite this incredible internet economy that we have in India, the reality is most of India is still not yet connected. There are 125 million small businesses in the world. Less than 50% of them are connected to the internet. Pretty interesting, right? There are over 60 million small businesses that are not connected to the internet. In fact, if you go one level deeper, less than 10% of all small businesses in the world, I'm talking about the world, use virtually no technology. Even the ones that are connected to the internet really don't leverage technology much. The most defining technology trend for the next 10, 15, 20 years, in many ways, for the first 15 to 20 years of your professional careers, will be artificial intelligence. But the reality is, we're still in day zero when it comes to AI. When I add all of this together, despite all the incredible progress we've made, despite Apple being worth $1 trillion, despite the world having 3 or 4 companies that are now valued at over $800 billion, despite all the incredible excitement in the Indian technology sector, we're still in day zero of the global technology industry. That's pretty exciting, by the way, because if we were in day number 342, this would not be a great time to be graduating. It's also an incredibly exciting and interesting time to be in India. I don't know how many of you know this, but at the end of 2017, India's GDP surpassed that of France. Anybody going to France for advanced studies or joining a French company? Okay. No wonder. When I actually told that stat to my team, I tell it very passionately. They all looked at me and said, so what? Well, here's another interesting, maybe more relevant statistic for all of you. By the end of this year, over the next 5 months, India's GDP will surpass that of the UK. I'm sure you'd agree. That's pretty interesting. By 2030, India will become the 3rd largest economy of the world, and pretty much will be in a new world order. 2030 is not that far away. I know most of you are probably thinking about next month. But 2030 is not that far away. It's 12 years away. So within 12 years, when you're in your early 30s, within 10 or 12 years of you doing whatever you're doing, you are going to be, if you're still in India, in an economic miracle, in the midst of an economic miracle the world has never seen before. That's what a $6, $7, $8 trillion economy that is growing even at 5, 6, 7% will feel like. So that's the good news. The bad news is, if you don't like traffic and pollution, you've got the educational qualifications to go please solve it. I don't know whether you read this morning, looks like Japan just might be the first place for flying cars. Well, I hope some of you invent all the solutions that we need to actually make India livable while still growing at the rates that India will undoubtedly grow, definitely in your lifetimes and my lifetime. So it's an incredible time in technology, and it's an incredibly interesting time in India. Now, that being said, we have no shortage of challenges either in the technology industry or in India. I am well aware of that. But by and large, when you're trying to do amazing things, you've got to focus on the positives while you also address the things that may be not so great about technology as well as what we see in India. So now what I'd like to do is, as with every other speaker, our distinguished speakers, and those of you that are fortunate will not go to too many of these graduation ceremonies, but some of you looks like will probably be doing this for the next 10 years. You know, another undergraduate degree, graduate degree, a PhD, and then you'll end up like director and his distinguished faculty, where every year you have to come to one of these. So I asked myself this question, what would I do if I was in your shoes? What would I do if I was a younger Rajan sitting here in 2018 listening to a speech that I actually will absolutely not remember tomorrow? So the first thing is, I would stay in India. 25 years ago, over 25 years ago, when I graduated, you know, with an engineering degree, graduate degree in the US, it was a very different world. I've just shared with you some of the top-line statistics of what's going on in India. I could add Asia to it. I could add China to it. And the numbers are just mind-boggling. I'll tell you an interesting story. One of my leaders on my Google management team in Asia, he was very keen to leave India. So he went to Singapore. Singapore, fantastic, fantastic. Then he said, Singapore, you know, too easy. Want more excitement. So then he went off to different places. And then about 2 years later, he called me and said, do you know that in most places in Western Europe, you make less money than I made in India? I said, hello. Do you know why that is? Well, he did all the research and then he came back because when I ask a question, I want data. It's changed completely. Here's the thing. If you're from China, if you're Chinese, and I know none of you really care about money or compensation. None of you do, right? I mean, really, none of you do. You've already got a job, so now you don't care. You don't care about your increments. You don't care about those stock options. But the reality is, if India is going to be the third largest economy in 12 years, guess where you'd want to be? Here's another interesting thing. My leaders from India who left India 3, 4, 5 years ago are now further behind than the Indians who stayed. Because you know what's happening? India is growing so fast. Businesses, industries, ecosystems are growing so big that I would much rather get a leader who knows how to build and win in India than somebody who's figured out how to build and win somewhere else. By the way, that's not to say you shouldn't explore. You should explore. You should be curious. If you really want to live somewhere, go and live somewhere. But I think the first thing I tell my younger self, actually I've told my older self, I'm pretty old, is focus on India, stay in India. Because this incredible journey is going to just get better and better on many dimensions. There are going to be dimensions where it's going to get more challenging. The second thing I tell my younger self, I certainly lost her, so that's okay. I'll put her together with my daughter, 12-year-old. They can compare notes. Is to focus on really big problems and go for moonshots. Look, the reality is you will do the same amount of work whether you're focusing on a small problem or a big problem. Most of you, as you get into your roles, will migrate rapidly towards small, easy, risk-free problems. You know why? Because that's what you'll do. It's easy. I'll talk more about that. Don't do that. Focus on really big problems. Focus on those moonshots. Now, the great thing is, India has no shortage of big problems. We have massive problems across every sector. And actually, I view that as an incredible opportunity for every single one of you. Because whether it's healthcare, whether it's education, whether it's agriculture, whether it's transportation, whether it's energy, whether it's pollution, or whether it's sanitation, we have giant problems. And for technologists, each of those problems provides an incredible opportunity to innovate, an incredible opportunity to have impact. A lot of people ask me, hey, look, Flipkart just got valued at over 20 billion, they got solved. Just this year, 2018 year to date, India has created 8 new unicorns, 8 companies, 8 startups that are worth over $1 billion. Right? Companies like Freshworks, like Swiggy, and so on. So is there really more room for more companies, for more big companies? And my answer to that question is, it's still day zero. And you know why? Because everything, almost everything, that has happened in India's startup ecosystem so far has focused on what I call India One, the first 100 million Indians. Urban, educated, speak English, reasonably well-to-do. Actually, that pretty much describes this room, by and large. But that is not real India. The real India is the next billion. The real India needs much better solutions, not to get their Samsung phone shipped to you in the next 5 hours. They need better solutions in healthcare. They have no access to high-quality healthcare. They need access to high-quality education. 50 million Indians are farmers. They want farming households, not farm workers, farming households. They can barely make a living. Do you know what you can do if you apply great technology? Incredible. You can double, triple, quadruple their yields. And imagine the impact you could have on millions of people, and therefore the kinds of businesses that you can build. So focus on moonshots, build solutions for really big problems. By the way, if you end up in that job where you're maintaining a legacy system, that's cool too. Just reduce the cost of maintenance by 90%. Okay? Because you can say, oh, that's not a big problem. Well, every problem can be a big problem if you have a moonshot solution. But by and large, try to focus on the bigger problems. Third thing I tell myself is the importance of focus and perseverance. You know, if you want to really solve big problems, you've got to focus. Right? You can't really solve big problems by trying to do too many things. Solving big problems requires focus, and as important, requires time and perseverance. You won't get it right the first time, or the second time, or the third time, or the fourth time, and it's totally cool. Solving big problems, going after the moonshots, is like playing test cricket. I know, most of you don't watch that anymore. Today's generation is about IPL. It's T20, it's 4 hours, the game's over. Welcome to life. Life's test cricket. And if you really want to make an impact, it's like a test series. 5-day matches, 5 matches in a row. That's what it takes. That's perseverance. The next thing I tell myself is be fearless. It's natural to have fear. But the single biggest thing you'll have to get over if you're really going to be great is overcoming your fears. And by the way, it's not fears about your family, it's not fears about your own health. It's the fear that you won't be successful. It's because of that fear you won't take risks. It's because of that fear you will always take the safe path. Well, here's something I'll tell you. Taking the safe path never led to greatness. So take risks. Be fearless. You know, everyone worries that when they fail, everybody around them is going to remember their failures. So here's another interesting thing I've learned. Nobody remembers your failures except yourself. You're the one that torments yourself when you failed. They only remember your wins. People remember when you won. I have failed many more times than I've won. People don't remember the failures. They remember the wins. So win a little, fail a lot, but make sure your wins are big and they count. Okay? The truly unmemorable are the ones that have neither. So whatever you do, don't be in that camp. No wins, no losses, no failures, no big wins. That's really not cool. And the last thing is, and several of our speakers, Chancellor, Director, and Chairman talked about this, is enjoy the journey and cherish the moments. You know, I was in my 20s, I worked crazy hours, crazy. 20, 22 hours a day, 6, 7 days a week. That was it. By the way, I mean, today I work slightly less. I'm kidding, I work a lot less. Today I come and give speeches where, you know, little young girls don't want to listen to me. One of the things that I regret, you know, it's amazing, right? These are the moments. One of the things that I regret was my mom had come to visit me in Chicago. I must have been 25, 26 years old. And she had to go to a doctor's appointment. And I had such an important, I was in consulting, such an important progress review that I didn't go with her. It was fine, by the way. It was a routine sort of thing. Even to this day, think about this, 20 years later, I kick myself. You know why? That was my mom. It was a really important moment for her. And I decided that going to a progress review of a client I don't remember, of a problem I don't remember, was more important than being there for her. You're going to have this incredible journey. There are going to be more lows than highs. Remember, there are going to be more lows than highs, and it's perfectly fine. Because the lows are what's going to make your highs better. But through this journey, enjoy it. And cherish those moments. Each of you will define what those moments are. What's important to you? Who's important to you? 25 years from now, believe it or not, your closest friends are probably in this room. Good news and bad news. Right? Cherish them. Spend time with them. Because you're going to get incredibly busy. They're going to get incredibly busy. But make the time. Because these are the relationships that matter. You know, your parents, your loved ones who are in the back of the room, they are the ones that matter. So that's what I would do. I do a lot of things the same way, but I do some things differently. So class of 2018, congratulations again. We know you're going to make us proud. And we know that you will make India proud. Thank you.
Thanks, Rajan, for this very excellent and motivating speech. I really thoroughly enjoyed it, which I'm sure all our students have also enjoyed. Mr. Chancellor, sir, may I request you to kindly present a memento to the chief guest. Honorable Chancellor will, please, can you? So last portion of the phase, the first portion, we will start now. Let the candidates for the various degrees be presented.
We present all candidates for various degrees. All candidates for all degrees, please rise. I request Chairman Senate to admit the students for various degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as the chairman of the Senate of the Indraprastha Institute of Information Technology, Delhi, I hereby admit the duly qualified candidates listed in the scroll for the respective degrees and charge them to prove worthy of the same.
All candidates for all degrees, please be seated. I request the Chair PGC to present the PhD candidates for award of degree.
So I present you 6 candidates in person who have duly qualified in the year 2018 to receive the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. The first is Dr. Shweta Mishra, thesis titled Design and Analysis of Password-Based Authentication Systems. Supervisors Dr. Donghun Chang and Dr. Soumitra Sanadia. I request the supervisors to come to the dais and assist in holding. Dr. Naveen Gupta, thesis titled Cognitive Subcarrier Sharing Schemes for Cooperative D2D Communication Frameworks. Supervisor Dr. Vivek Bora. I request the supervisor to come to the dais and assist in holding. Okay. Dr. Pandarasamy Arjunan, thesis titled Middleware Systems and Analytics for Identifying Abnormal Energy Usages in Buildings. Supervisors Dr. Amarjit Singh and Dr. Pushpendra Singh. Dr. Pandarasamy is not here today and so gets the degree. We'll move to the next. Dr. Naushad Ansari, thesis titled Wavelet Transformed Learning and Applications. Supervisor Dr. Anubha Gupta. Dr. Tarun Kumar Bansal, his is a joint PhD with IIIT-Delhi and QUT Australia. His thesis title is Designing Generic Asymmetric Key Crypto System with Message Padding. Supervisors Dr. Donghun Chang, Dr. Joseph Phiripsik, Dr. Soumitra Sanadia, and Dr. Xavier Boyen. I request the supervisors to come to the dais and assist. Dr. Venkatesh V, thesis title, Code Variants and Their Retrieval Using Knowledge Discovery-Based Approaches. Supervisor Dr. Rahul Purandare. I request the supervisor to come to the dais and assist in holding.
let the candidate for the award of Chancellor's Medal and other medals be presented.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I request you to give the medal and the certificate to the student. Chancellor's Gold Medal for the best academic performance of all graduating students in all BTech programs has been awarded to Ronak Jhunjhunwala. I also present the candidates for the award of various other medals. I request the chief guest to hand over the certificate and the chairman to give the medal to the student. Best academic performance in BTech Electronics and Communications Engineering is awarded to Akshay Sethi. His parent will receive the award. Yes. All-round performance medal for the overall performance in curricular and extracurricular activities in the BTech Computer Science and Engineering program is awarded to Ambar Pal. He's not here? Okay. Since he is not present, let us proceed to the next. All-round performance medal for the overall performance in curricular and extracurricular activities in the BTech Electronics and Communications Engineering program is awarded to Akash Deep Singh.
So nobody will come. But she'll come out again. Okay.
Best BTech Project Award for the Best Research Project is awarded to two students, Divam Gupta in absentia. Title, Egocentric Video Analysis, BTP Advisor Dr. Chetan Arora. And to Akshay Sethi in absentia. Title, Attribute Classification, BTP Advisors Dr. Richa Singh and Dr. Mayank Vatsa. Best BTech Project Award for the Best Engineering Project is awarded to two students, Himanshu Title Mosquito Combatant, BTP Advisor, Dr. Aman Parnami. And to Vahini Umalaneni in absentia, title Chipless RFID Systems, BTP Advisor, Dr. M.S. Hashmi. The Best BTech Project Award for the Best Entrepreneurship Project is jointly awarded to two students, Mukesh Gupta and to Sujit. The title of their project was Near Peer, and the BTP advisor was Dr. Chetan Arora. Gold medal for excellent academic performance in the M.Tech programs is awarded to Ankit Rehani. Best M.Tech Thesis Award for the Best M.Tech Thesis in ECE is awarded to Ankush Mamgen. The title was Active Control of Retention Voltage of SRAM, and the thesis advisor, Dr. Anuj Grover. And to Saptak Banerjee. Title, Realizing AND Functionality Using Single Tunnel Field Effect Transistor. The thesis advisor, Dr. Sneh Saurabh. Best M.Tech Thesis Award for the Best M.Tech Thesis in CB is awarded to Vaibhav Tripathi. The title of his thesis, An fMRI Investigation of the Effects of Yoga Nidra Meditation on the Brain Using Inter-Subject Correlations. Thesis advisor, Dr. Rahul Garg from IIT Delhi and Dr. Ganesh Baglar. Thank you.
This year, 18 BTech students have graduated with honors degree. While they will receive their degrees in degree distribution ceremony, I would like to introduce these students and would request them to please stand up on their seats when I announce the names. Agam Singh Bajaj, Aishwarya Jaiswal, Amber Pal in absentia, Anshuman Suri, Ayush Agarwal in absentia, Deepak Thukral, Harshvardhan Kalra, Mansi Goyal in absentia, Parikshit Diwan, Ronak Jhunjhunwala, Sahar Siddiqui in absentia, Shivam Rastogi, Siddharth Sharma, Sonakshi Grover in absentia, Tanya Chaudhary, Tarun Kumar Yadav, Varun Jain, Akash Deep Singh. Let the record of the degrees be presented to the chairman for signature. Let the oath be administered. All the candidates for all degrees, please rise.
I hereby place that it shall be my constant endeavor to be scrupulously honest in the discharge of my duties as engineer and scientist, to uphold the dignity of the individual and the integrity of the profession, to utilize my knowledge of technology and science for the glory of the institute and in the service of the country and mankind at large.
Please sit down. Session 1 ends here. After the national anthem, the academic procession will depart. Please remain standing till the last person in the academic procession leaves the hall. We'll resume the degree granting ceremony in 10 minutes. Please rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जनगण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता
I request PhD students and their advisors to proceed for a group photograph outside the convocation hall. Further, PhD students and faculty can proceed for lunch. We will start the degree distribution ceremony for MTech students after 10 minutes in this hall, followed by BTech students after 25 minutes in the same hall. Students are requested to be seated. You are not allowed to go out. MTech students, parents can be seated in this room, and parents of BTech students can wait in C101 for 10 minutes and they can come back after 10 minutes. All MTech and BTech students are requested to remain seated, please. Please be seated. Any parents of MTech students sitting in C101, please come to the convocation hall. ऑर्डर में ही बैठे हो, सिटिंग ही ऑर्डर।
इसमें एब्सेंस या कुछ नहीं है ना? कौन सा दिखा दूँ मुझे थोड़ा पूछ लूँगा, ये लोग हैं क्या बैठे तो नहीं?
Okay, you guys are all actually, you've taken the oath, so you are the degree holders, but we will now give you formal degrees. So, let the candidates for the MTech degree be presented first.
I present to you 32 candidates in person and 10 others in absentia who have duly qualified in the year 2018 to receive the degree of Masters of Technology in Computer Science and Engineering. Arshdeep Kaur, Kanika Gautam, Abhipray Tiwari, Abhishek Gupta, Akanksha Pandey in absentia, Anmolpreet Kaur, Anshul Khantwal, Anupama Balotra, Ashutosh Pandey in absentia, Avantika Srivastav, Badal Kumar, Barish Khandelwal, Falak Riaz Wani in absentia, Garvita Jain, Gurupriya Kaur Bhatia, Harsh, Himanshu Ranjan, Kancharla Sukesh, Malvika Singh, Mamta, Mayank Gupta, Mayur Vilas Shingote, Medha Gupta in absentia, Megha Tyagi, Mohammad Saqib in absentia, Palak Bhatia, Pavas Handa in absentia, Pooja Sethia, Rajitha Velvadapau in absentia, Ritaban Basu, Rohit Bhardwaj, Sanket Kumar Jain, Shagun Gupta, Shanu in absentia, Shivanandra, Soumya Tuteja, Tushar Jain, Upase Shubham Gurulingappa in absentia, V. Divya Sharma, Vaibhav Pandey in absentia, Yash Sadana, and Jessica Arora. I also present to you one candidate in person who have duly qualified in year 2018 to receive the dual degree of Masters of Technology in Computer Science and Engineering, Simran Saxena.
I now present to you 13 candidates in person and one other in absentia who have duly qualified in the year 2018 to receive the degree of Master of Technology in Computer Science and Engineering with specialization in Data Engineering. Abari Bhattacharya. Aditi Agarwal. Agapati Janvi. Ashutosh Mittal. Diksha. Kanupriya Dang. Nagasuri Venkata Apurupa. Neha Jham. Nitish Srivastava. Pundari Kaksha Mishra. In absentia, Ravina Gupta. Saloni Baveja. Sarika. Vidhi Modi. I present to you one candidate in person who have duly qualified in the year 2018 to receive the degree of Master of Technology in Computer Science and Engineering with specialization in mobile computing. Garvita Bajaj. I also present to you two candidates in person and two others in absentia who are likely to graduate in December 2018 for the degree of Master of Technology in Computer Science and Engineering. Anil Chobe in absentia. Tvishi Sagwal. I think she is not there. Vinod Kumar S in absentia. Ojasvi Gupta. In absentia.
I present to you 4 candidates in person who have duly qualified in the year 2018 to receive the degree of Master of Technology in Electronics and Communication Engineering. Abhinav Sharma, Deepak Gupta, Ritika Jain, Sakshi Biani, I also present to you 25 candidates in person and 1 other in absentia who have duly qualified in the year 2018 to receive the degree of Master of Technology in Electronics and Communication Engineering with specialization in VLSI and embedded systems. Akhil James, Ankit Rehani, Ankush Mamgen, Arjun Singh, Vandana Kumari, Gaurav Garg, Ishain Gupta, Mokshada Tiwari, Monish Heather, Mrinal Kulshrestha, Muni Agarwal, Neha Dalal, Nishtha Rai, Pragya Sundar Biswal, Priyanka Mittal, Puneet Kaur, Sadiq Hussain, Sajal Khanna, Saptak Banerjee, Simali Patel, Shreyan Jain, Soni Chintan Jayendra Bhai, Supratik Shukla. Swati Garg in absentia. Tejaswani K. Vaibhav Agarwal. I present to you 3 candidates in person, 1 others in absentia, who have duly qualified in the year 2018 to receive the degree of Master of Technology in Electronics and Communication Engineering with a specialization in Communication and Signal Processing. Guntas Kaur in absentia, Ayush Kumar Tyagi. Upen Chipa. Vivek Ranjan. I also present to you 2 candidates in person and 3 others in absentia who are likely to graduate in December 2018 for the degree of Master of Technology in Electronics and Communication Engineering. Charul in absentia, Faraz Abin in absentia, Garima Budhani. John Louis D in absentia, Siddhant Saxena. Starts from here. We need pen.
Now I would like to present to you 5 candidates in person and 1 other in absentia who have duly qualified in the year 2018 to receive the degree of Master of Technology in Computational Biology. Ankit Sharma. Arvind Krishnamurthy. Ayushi Gupta. Biswadeep Khan in absentia, who is doing his PhD in Hong Kong right now. Divanshu Srivastava. Vaibhav Tripathi. I also present to you 3 candidates who are likely to graduate in December 2018 for the degree of Master of Technology in Computational Biology. Gauri Mittal. Nikita Gupta. and Shubhra Agarwal.
We will resume with BTech degree distribution in another 5 minutes. Before that, we would like to have a photograph of MTech students just putting their tassel towards their right as they have now graduated. Yeah. Pallavi, bolo na photograph. So your tassel should be towards your right. Pallavi, bolo photograph. MTech students and their parents, you can move to ground floor for a group photograph. Further, you can have your lunch and return your gowns. Venue for group photograph is OAT.
Okay, now it's time for the BTech. We've given out the PhD degrees and we've given out the MTech degrees. So let the candidates for the BTech degree be presented.
I present to you 11 candidates in person and 6 others in absentia who have duly qualified in the year 2018 to receive the degree of Bachelor of Technology in Computer Science and Engineering with honors. Agam Singh Bajaj, Aishwarya Jaiswal, Amber Pal in absentia, Anshuman Suri, Ayush Agarwal in absentia, Deepak Thukral, Harshvardhan Kalra, Mansi Goyal in absentia, Parikshit Diwan, Ronak Jhunjhunwala, Sahar Siddiqui in absentia, Shivam Rastogi, Siddharth Sharma in absentia, Sonakshi Grover in absentia, Tanya Chaudhary, Tarun Kumar Yadav, Varun Jain,
I present to you here 67 candidates in person and 17 others in absentia who have duly qualified in the year 2018 to receive the degree of Bachelor of Technology in Computer Science and Engineering. Shivangi Mehra in absentia, Abhishek Kumar in absentia, Abhishek Chaudhary. Akash Gautam, Gaurav Yadav, Kshitij Kamble, Manish Patel in absentia, Piyush Kumar, Rachna in absentia, Varun Bansal, Ashe Mittal, Abhishek Balian, Adesh Pandey, Akash Agarwal, Alind Khare, Anam Bhatia, Anisha Sejwal, Anshul Anil Gaur, Arushi Kumar, Awadh Yadav in absentia, Avneet Kaur, Ayan Kapoor, Bhrigu Gupta, Barhan Nabi, Chaudhary Gurush Gabriel Singh, Darvesh Kumar Punia, Deepak Munagala, Dhruv Pargai, Divam Gupta in absentia, Divya Prakash in absentia, Gautam Gupta, Harshit Verma in absentia, Himanish Chhabra, Himanshu Pahadia, Himanshu Singh Negi, Hirak Chandravanshi, Hirdam Narula, Ishan Pandita, Ishita Verma in absentia, Kunal Saini, Kunal Sharma, Lakshya Dahiya, Lakshit Tyagi, Loitaksh Parmar, माधव वर्मा, मयंक अत्री, नलिन गुप्ता इन absentia, निशांत यादव, नितिका सरन, पहल कृष्णिया, पंकज कुमार अनुरागी, प्राची सिंह, प्रंकुल सिंह, प्रशांत सैनी, पुलकित, पुरुषार्थ द्विवेदी, राघव सिंह चौहान, निशांत यादव, राहुल मनचंदा, राजीव नागरवाल, रश्मि नागपाल, इन absentia ऋषभ गुप्ता, इन absentia ऋषि मोहन, इन absentia शक्ति सौरव, सार्थक मदान, इन absentia सत्यम कुमार, रश्मि नागपाल, and then Sakti Saurav. सत्यम कुमार, श्रेय बगरे, इन absentia शुभम गोस्वामी, सिद्धांत वर्मा, सिद्धार्थ सिंह, सुजीत, उज्जवल कनोडिया, उत्कर्ष सिंह, उत्सव दवे, वासु, वासु वर्मा, वत्सल सिंघल, विकास गोदारा, इन absentia विशिष्ट खिलारीवाल, विवेक नेगी इन एब्सेंशिया, वृंदा मल्होत्रा। यश मोहन शहरी। यशदीप सिंह। आदित्य द्विवेदी। अक्षत सिन्हा। I also present to you 19 candidates in person and 4 others in absentia who are likely to graduate in December 2018 for the degree of Bachelor of Technology in Computer Science and Engineering. Ritvik Agarwal in absentia. Ashish Kumar. Akshat Sharda. Anant Jain. Atul Mathur. Gursimran Singh. Himanshu Sagar in absentia. Kushagra Mahajan in absentia. Kushagra Singh. M. Nikhil Prasanna. Milind in absentia. Nitin Kumar. Ojasvi Singh Randhawa. Palash Ranjan Bansal. Praveen Kumar Jhanwar. Sahil Ruhela. Shantanu Jain. Shubham Maheshwari. Siddharth Arya. Sudhir Kumar. Vipin Chaudhary. And Harish Fulara.
I present to you one candidate in person who has duly qualified in the year 2018 to receive the degree of Bachelor of Technology in Electronics and Communication Engineering with honors, Akash Deep Singh.
I present to you 15 candidates in person and 5 others in absentia who have duly qualified in the year 2018 to to receive the degree of Bachelor of Technology in Electronics and Communication Engineering. Muhammad Samir Malik in absentia. Raviteja Palagurti. Ankit Swain in absentia. Akshay Sethi in absentia. Amog Vitalkar. Deepanshu Gaylot. Himanshu. Manish Kumar Singh. Muhammad Naeem. Muhammad Shoaib Iqbal. Mukesh Gupta. Parth Arora. Richa Chaudhary. Robin Singh. Rohan Juneja. Rohan Tiwari in absentia. Saurav Kumar. Tanya S. Agrawal. Vahini Ummalaneni in absentia. And Vikas Vikram Singh. I also present to you 6 candidates in person and 4 others in absentia who are likely to graduate in December 2018 for the degree of Bachelor of Technology in Electronics and Communication Engineering. Tushar Sharma in absentia, Aditya Jain, Aishwarya Raj in absentia, Ankit Girdhar, Ashutosh Gupta, Geetang Singh, Mandeep Singh in absentia, Paurush Rathi in absentia, Siddhant Gandhi in absentia, and Siddharth Sharma in absentia. Done? Thank you all.
Mr. Chairman, sir, I request you to declare the convocation closed.
All students and parents are requested to move for lunch. Further, you can move to open air theatre for photographs and then you can return your gowns.
कार्ड दे रहा हूँ, कॉपी कर लो, वीडियो उसमें टाइम लगेगा। हेलो, कार्ड कॉपी नहीं करोगे? फिर भी आप रोड डेटा तो रख लो, फिर बाद में मंगवाते हैं ना रोड डेटा। वही कह रहा हूँ, बाद में रोड डेटा मंगवाता है, उससे दिक्कत होती है, फिर 2-3 चक्कर लग जाते हैं, टाइम लगता है कॉपी करने में। पता कर लो फोटो वोटो का डेटा, पता करके बताना। बंद कर दूँ कैमरा, वीडियो खत्म हो गया वैसे। कौन? आपने कॉल किया, बताओ। मैंने गलती से चली गई होगी, बच्चे ने मिला दिया। हाँ बोलो। हैं? फोटो क्लीन करके देनी है।
हाँ, कहाँ पर हो?
और ये वीडियो जैसे नॉर्मल बनती है,
मैं कह रहा था अंदर एक फोटो ले लो।
जैसे बनती है हमेशा वैसे बनवाओ ना। तो एक काम करना, पेन ड्राइव हो ना, पेन ड्राइव, मुझे पेन ड्राइव दे देना। पेन ड्राइव में बहुत अच्छी क्वालिटी आएगी, सीडी तो थोड़ी डल हो जाती है। ठीक है, 32 या 64 लगेगा, मैं आपको बता दूँगा। पैक कर दूँ? कार्ड डालो, कॉपी कर लो। अरे वो कार्ड ही तो वाला कैमरा है। वीडियो वीडियो अभी देंगे आपको।
वो वाला कैमरा तो है नहीं कि वो दिल खराब होंगे।
हाँ देख ले, कुछ जैसा आपका मन करे।
आवाज आते हैं अंकल, तो दोनों आ जाते हैं।
अरुण, ये दोनों कार्ड लिया, भाई को दे दे।
क्या?